Good morning. It's still the morning. It's been a long morning already. So let's get into this. All right. Also, I can't play music like I like to because when I play music over some of my talking, it gets gerbled and banned from TikTok. I don't want to be banned from TikTok. YouTube. I've already been warned by everybody this week. Almost got thrown off TikTok again. All right, hang on there. Hang on a second. Hello, my TikTokers. Yeah, look, it's me. I was just on TikTok, right? Now I'm on the YouTube. So what you're seeing here on the screen is what you see when you come to the website. And why I was so happy about, well, there's a few reasons I'm happy this morning. First, looking at iRobot, seeing iRobot under $1, it just made me. I'm just in a good mood, right? And I was already in a good mood before this trade worked. But why seeing a stock getting slammed cheers me up? You know why? Because we traded the shit out of the stock last week. We had some fun with it, and that's it. We traded it. I don't own stocks. So iRobot, seeing it under $1 this morning, especially after the government was telling you that they're into robotics, and that's what got this stock going last week. iRobot crashing like this validates everything I've been talking about for the last 30 years. All stocks suck. Every stock's going to zero. This is why I trade. This is why I don't own stocks. I don't do call spreads. I'm not selling puts. I'm not doing shangles. I'm not doing collars. I'm not swing trading. It's why I own zero stocks. You know what I'm in right now? Silver and short UVXY. That's my entire portfolio. If you want to call it a portfolio, it's not even a portfolio. Because we have a trade that works every time it shows up. Every time. So the guy in the back who just said, well, if it works every time, just do that. Exactly. And that's where I am, finally. And every time I've strayed from that path, I've been reminded, oh, that doesn't work. Like early as last year, I'm still working my way through my disastrous trade on the UVXY. You know, again, if you don't know the story, I was over leveraged by 30x, right? You know what that means? 30 times the amount of money I had in the account. I was leveraged to the hilt selling naked calls, and we had some bullshit called the yen carry over the weekend, and the volatility indexes all exploded and crushed me, and they forced me to cover at the highs. And I'll always remember that tone of this guy's voice. Margin department from Charles Schwab called me. You're going to have to get out of this position by the end of the day. And I explained, it's UVXY, and this stock reverts back to where it will be. It'll be right back to where it came from within a couple of days. And he said, sure it will. And right at that moment, I wanted to say, excuse me, what's your name? Because I'm going to come find you and kill you. Because he didn't know. He's just a margin clerk, schmuck that was tasked to call me to make sure I got out of this trade. He didn't know that UVXY was a broken, beat up, worthless piece of shit that's built to go down. And it was only up those couple of days because there was some bullshit going on in the industry that made the volatility products explode. It's built to go down. He didn't want to hear that. And he was right. Because if it would have had one more day, I would have been ruined. That's how bad it got. Ruined. We wouldn't be here right now. I would have had to sell my house. I would have got divorced. My kids would have hated me. And I probably would have had to borrow money from somebody to live. That's how bad it was that night. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. It was actually worse than that. Because there was a point where I didn't know how it was going to end. It was pretty frightening. And I'm a changed person since. And when I tell you this industry will humble you every time it gets a chance, that was maybe the fifth time I had to be reminded that it's not about what I think, and this market will humble you. I've blown myself up so many times, but I managed to resurrect myself using this trade. And now finally, I think I've learned my lesson. I'm only going to be doing this trade in all the wonderful varieties that it shows up intraday. And I'm going to try not to do anything else. I say try because I always tend to. And listen, I'll tell you right now, if the market does crash, there's going to be stocks I want to own. I'm a bear, but I'm a bear with purpose. You give me some Tesla back at 285, I'm in. You give me Palantir at $80, I'm in. You give me some stocks that I want to buy. You give me the Qs at 385, I'm buying. I'm going all in. 385, yeah. Why? You don't think the Qs could go back to 385? That's a crash. So, but today is the important thing. Today I came in and I told everybody the last couple of days. First of all, let's talk about Tilray, right? Very passionate about Tilray over the last couple of days, right? And this is why I love trading. So Tilray did what's called a reverse split. And 2025 has been notoriously the year of the dog shit stock comeback. And usually it happens after reverse splits. If you don't know what that's about, I'm not going to elaborate on the whole intricacies of reverse splits right now. But I saw something happening in Tilray, which was very bizarre. It was going up on large volume, larger volume than normal. And that tips you off because the market's rigged and it's manipulated. The only way you could see that manipulation is volume. So if something suddenly has a lot of unusual volume, that's the phrase, unusual volume and unusual activity, you say, hey, what's that? That's unusual. And you run in that direction. Generally, the unusual trade, like this morning, it's unusual for the market to sell off on Monday, but it starts to happen. Hey, that's unusual. Let's do that. You don't run from the unusual event. You run towards it. So Tilray was doing something unusual. And then I almost did something unusual as well, like holding it, because I traded it very nice Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. And Friday, I'm thinking, holy shit, this is exciting. By the way, the Qs are no longer a short anymore. So on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday of last week, here's the 10-day chart, right? We picked it up as it was coming out of what we call the Andy Dufresne pattern. Long-term VWAP break. Stock has gone sideways out of the dormancy and runs. Goes sideways through the shit pipe that Andy Dufresne was climbing through to get out of Shawshank prison. And then it runs. And then it runs and it runs. And then it broke the split high. And then we went and looked at a 2-year chart. So here's the 1-year chart. That was our first target. And he's like, wow, if this squeeze really takes root, we're probably going to get to $13.49, which at the time was the 2-year VWAP. It's been adjusted because the stock is now live again. So this orange line was my goal. And on Friday, right? Here's Friday. Because I know more about this than anybody on earth, is Friday, we traded it. We had a nice trade in the beginning of the day. We actually shorted it, right? Here's a stock I thought was going up, but we took advantage of a sell-off first, and then we bought it back after the fake out, shakeout, breakout. So I bought this move right here around $11.11, 1111 Old Country Road, Westbury. No talking orangutans, and if you know that reference, I'd be amazed. 1111 Old Country Road in Westbury. By the way, the QQQ short is over now. It's over. Let me make sure it's over in my account too, because I still had a couple left. Nope, got out. All right. Cool. Now we can have this conversation. Got no trades on right now whatsoever. So it's awesome. And if you guys went long the Qs while I was covering, good job again. So let's talk about this Tilray, right? So Tilray wakes up and I'm like, oh, good. Here we go again. Short squeeze. Next thing you know, blah, blah, blah. Late day rallies on a stock that's being squeezed tends to rally into the close. So when a stock rallies into the close, the lack of liquidity helps the squeeze because there's less liquidity, more people buying it. So I suggested, hey, why don't we just buy this again? And I got faux show broed right into the close. So I bought it, I was here. I sold some 11.50, 11.75. And then I sold some at 12. And at 12, I'm like, all right, cool. Now I'm in. So now when I sell out of a stock, the majority of it, then I get to the point where I say, all right, if I had 2,000 shares and I'm down to the last 400, I made money on the 1,600 shares. I'll hold 400 shares overnight. So my plan was to hold the last 400. Not a big position, right? I can get it. And then it breaks a new high, rolls over, and then breaks the 11.75 right there. Look. That's me getting shook out. I got faked out, shook out, because usually where I sell on the way up is where I sell on the way back down. So they got me at 11.75. And then it rips right without me. And I'm like, oh, man. By the way, this Q short is so over now, people. It's so over. Crash has been averted. Nobody's short the Qs, right? We cashed out of those 515s. Well done, everybody. So let's talk about this Tilray. So here I was like, oh, man, I got faux showed. And then it starts to bro. That's my favorite trade. So I bought it back in the aftermarket, thinking that, okay, they just got me out. That was a terrible exit, but that's how I trade. I follow my rules. And then I was like, listen, I got no shame. I got no ego involved. Bang, I'm in. I bought it back at 12.12. And then once again, it got to 12.50. I sold some. And then I sold some at 13. And I'm like, all right, you know what? But I had 400 here. Got stopped out of that last 400. Now I'm back in a full position at 2,000 shares. Selling. And then our goal was for it to get to 13.40. It did it in the aftermarket, so I sold it. And I woke up this morning and it was lower. So good times. But what we did also this morning was took advantage of the 1 minute multi-day VWAP reversal. And then when you join my website and have a part of this code, these are different levels of VWAP you're seeing. See how the prices are changing a little bit? First, it goes from the 1 minute to the 1 day. Puts up a fight, loses the fight. You know we're going lower. Where are we going? To the 2. Loses the fight there. Where are we going? To the 3. Almost gets there, but then there's that little faux show bro action. So breaks a new low, comes right back, starts to rally, then breaks back above where it broke down from. So think about the shorters for a second. What are they going to do? They're going to cover, right? Because they know shorting is short-lived and they're going to die. So where the shorters are covering, that gives you the idea that you're going to take a long trade. So this became another new long. Some of us got paid on that. I didn't take it. Only thing I've done so far was Q short, UVXY long. And what's unique about that trade is it just doesn't usually work on a Monday. That's why I love this trade. Now, before we even go any further, if you were with us this morning, we saw Fat Finger Freddy show up, right? So what's Fat Finger Freddy? Well, if you still want to debate whether the market's rigged, right, and pre-programmed, you lose again, right? So this morning, right on time, Fat Finger Freddy shows up. And the market's way up here. Where'd this print come from? Oh, what it is the market is pre-programmed to go to that price, and the matrix accidentally slips and shows you. Somebody hit the Fat Finger Freddy. And we take that under advisement because now it's happening more often than not. So that's the idea. I already came in thinking this was going to be a sucker gap rollover because there's been sellers out there. And then I also remind myself that the market never goes down. And then I remind myself, okay, what do I need? I need a VWAP break. I need a VWAP test from underneath. I need a VWAP break in prior day VWAP. And then I'm going to be pretty damn convinced we're right. Market opens up. We're above VWAP. We're above VWAP. We're above VWAP. We're breaking VWAP. I'm in. I shorted the stock. Got to the prior day VWAP. We start covering. VWAP's our stop now, but we don't sell it. We don't get out of an entire position at one price. So this little wick got me out of some. But at this point, remember, each time you're in a trade, you have different risk parameters. If you're a shorter here, your goal's here, your stop's VWAP and prior high. So because it didn't go back to the prior high, we stayed short. But then 2 minutes later, this candle confirmed that, hey, I think we're onto something. And then it broke the prior day VWAP, and that's when we traded the options. Because once you're convinced, that's when you start putting option trades on, because options are very, very hard to trade, especially at the beginning of the day. So what did we buy? Guy in the back. It was just way back about an hour ago. We bought the 615s because all we trade, write this down, we trade 0-date options at the money on the Qs. That's it. You never have to ask ever again. What option are you trading? At or near the money, 0-date options on the Qs. Doesn't matter if they're expensive because it's relative. Do you want to buy puts on the Qs right now? You do. What's the price? That's the price you have to pay. It's all relative. It's not whether they're expensive or cheap. It's the trade to go with. Slightly out of the money, right there. So we're buying these at 125. And if you heard me, and you must have heard me because you were live with me, my mistake, if you will, was selling some at 143. And then it pulled back, and then it rallied. And I guess it would be a mistake to say I sold some at 175. I'm sorry. And then when they got to $2, I sold more. And then when they got to 250, I was like, hey, I'm selling half now because I'm at 100% on this trade. So by 250, where I'm doubling my money, I've already sold two contracts, 6 more, right? And now I got 5 left, right? Starts to plummet. I'm like, oh, man, I really wish I would have sold them up there. And then they start to come back. Because going back to where we were looking for the Qs to get to Fat Finger Freddy. Hadn't got there yet. And I said, if it breaks Fat Finger, we're going to go visit our friends from where? Yesterday, which is Friday. And that was the 611.36. So that was our next target for underneath there. 611.36. 611.36. 611.36. 611.36. 611.36. And look where we got. I think there's a 611. Look how it hit it to the penny right there. Right? And we covered and sold the majority right there because that's where we got. But at that point, we started thinking, hey, I'm going to hold a couple of contracts just in case we do crash. But now I'm sitting in the driver's seat. Sold some at 143, which was dumb, 175, 250. Sold some at 312. And that's how you stay in this game. The day you don't take the profits, the day the whole trade goes to shit. The day you do, it could have been better. But it's better to complain about what you could have, should have made, or not should have, could have, because there's no should. Nobody should be doing anything. Sure, you could have made some more money if you held on. But remember the days where you get out of something, and that's the better play. So the way to stay consistent is stay consistent. Every time you trade, don't get out at the whole, never get out of all of it at one price. Sell into the moves, raise your stop. And if you get stopped out at a higher price, so be it. You could always re-enter the trade. And that's where we're at. I've done one thing today. Q short. And as somebody said, so when do you think about going long? And I said, I'm not. But you can. If you start covering if you start going long where I cover, that's usually a good place to start because I'm usually covering on the way down and then on the way back up. So if I'm covering on the way down to some, Maybe you started a long position, but on the way back up where I'm getting stopped out of the cues, 212.50, right? Pivot points, VWAP breaks. There's a reason I'm not short the cues anymore, right? Well, first of all, shorting is short-lived and you're going to die. Second of all, it got to where I wanted. 611.36. So when it went back above 611.36, I covered some more. And then 612.50. And the top of this range was the end of the trade for me. So you're never going to be perfect. But if you can come in the vicinity of perfect, you're awesome. You don't have to be in the vicinity. You got to be decent. No one's covering or getting out of a position all at the best price. That's why you don't get out of the entire position at one price, because there's always a better price, even when you're losing. And I got stopped out of the cues on the way back on some. Then I was involved in the roll. It could have went up, and I would have got out of the rest. And that's trading, my friends. So the reason we're doing it the way we do it, and the reason we're going to continue to doing it this way, is that if you see me on TikTok, you see me on YouTube, and it seems like I'm just talking some bullshit, right? Great. I love jadedness. I love cynicism. Don't trust anybody, not even me. Trust what you see when you show up. And then you'll say, oh man, so this is my 19th trade in a row with this guy, and they've all worked. Yeah, after like 6 or 7, you should be impressed. But if it's 19 in a row, that's pretty good too. And you'll see, wait a minute, I need to be involved. I'm going to stick around. Saying about track records and win rates and all that other bullshit, right? Every day I expose what this is about. Knowing what you're doing and trying to stay focused and trying to stay focused and trying to stay focused. It's about patience, discipline, VWAP, range breaks, market mechanics, but most importantly, the part that you don't hear too much about, risk management. Because anybody trying to sell you something, what are they going to talk about? They're going to talk about win rates, right? I proved it wrong. I proved the win rate is bullshit many, many times. A month ago, tomorrow, I had one of the worst days of the year. My win rate was at 100%. How the hell did I do that? Because the trades that won, I kept adding to them, and then they turned into shitty trades, and I got crushed. But I had to win. I just went nuts and decided to stray from the path, not take profit, and add to positions when I normally sell them, and I got punished. My son, fuckhead that is, left his wallet in that man's hand. Crazy. My son proved it also. Last year when he was trading for me, the kid went 14 for 17, I think it was roughly. 14 for 17. Lost $3,000. How's that possible? I'll tell you. Because he got smoked short in Carvana 3 different times, no stops, and got annihilated. So those 14 wins got destroyed compared to the 3 awful losses in Carvana. But if he wants to launch a promotion and do win rates, he could talk about his win rate, right? 14 for 17. Sign up now. Operators are standing by. Meanwhile, you're a loser. It's about managing your money, managing the trades. And that's where the magic formula known as never get out of your entire position at one price comes in. And if you obey that one cardinal, not a cardinal sin, but the rule, that's one of the most hardcore rules in this industry. Never, ever get out of your entire position at one price, even when you're losing, because there's always a better price. And the day where it's not, sure, you'll lose a little bit more, but that keeps you in the trade. So here we are, another day, one trade. One trade. That's it. I had puts on the cues, and I was short the cues too. That's it. UVXY long would have been a great trade, but again, I didn't get it because I didn't get my price. I don't trade it. So here we are. Anybody have any questions? Because that's what I do best. Answer some questions. If you haven't been making money, if you didn't make money in 2025, make sure you join us. because next year is going to be even better. We might not have a 13% candle like we did in April, but you know what? You guys nobody was buying the low and selling the high that day either. It's about understanding market mechanics and then rinsing and repeating. Earnings season starts again in 2 weeks. This market's in flux, and it's fantastic. This is by far the greatest trading year in the history of trading. There's never been anything like this. Everything was working. And by the way, speaking of everything working, you might want to be looking at dumps in silver because we've had a parabolic move, right? I'm not selling my hard currency, but we got a blow off top this morning and this afternoon. Well, I guess it's still the morning. SLV. Again, I'm not selling my coins or my collection or anything. I just bought more. I do think we're going to 80, but if you're just a trader, silver had some blow off top, double top action this morning. Very, very specific spot right there, rolling over. And again, if you're sitting pretty with some AGQ or SLV, no harm in taking something off the table. All right, so that's it. I have 0 positions on. Great day. We could talk more about this iRobot disaster, some Tilray, some weed stocks. The dumb as the brick trade. You know all the weed stocks are inevitably going to 0, right? Is the dumb as the brick guy in here? You want to debate me again? Where MJ is going to be 3 months from now? 0. Guy said I was dumb as a brick, shorting the MJ. Because the government's getting involved. So they've said over the last, what are they now, 30 years now, they've been talking about level 3 and all that shit. It never going to happen. And even if it does, these stocks are still going to inevitably go to 0 because none of them make any money and they never will. They're all scams. Tilray, Cron, all those weed stocks, they're all garbage. They're the worst of the worst. And when they roll over and die, everybody will dump them again. But they're fun to trade. All right, I'll be right back. Uh-oh. What happened? I said the Q short was over. Next thing you know, reinitiated it just now. What happened? What the hell? I just stepped out for 2 seconds. The Q just went down $1. Wow. Well, what we are witnessing right now, let me just say hello again. Hello. How are you? What up, YouTube? Well, wow. That sucks. All right, I'm probably not joining in. I trade stocks, options, futures. I'll trade anything that moves. Yep. Live cattle futures. You into that? You ever been to an auction? So much fun. You ever been to a cattle auction? Just a shit ton of fun. You would never think. You ever see cattle auction guy? They dropped a beat to the guy once. So much fun. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But yeah, I trade anything that moves, but mostly stocks and options, futures. Futures, I've been trading more futures lately. I can't say a lot. I trade one contract. Like, last night, trade one contract. I don't move too much size, but futures is just awesome. If you're trading futures, my friend, there is nothing better than VWAP because it's usually it's a nice, easy break, right? So here it was last night. First move was down. There's your faux show. There's your VWAP break. Buy it. And then they retook the highs of the day, sell it. And that was my trade. So as long as you faux show underneath the VWAP and then test it from on top, which was great, but I'm a buyer of VWAP after this chart pattern. So, not the perfect clean break. Clean break, I mean, breaks it and just starts to rally. It tested you a little bit, but if you're a buyer of VWAP, and again, in this case, it's hard because I only have one contract, but I generally use that right there as my stop. If it's going to roll over, it's going to have to break that spot. So I'm a buyer here. Stop is there. Targets the high of the open and got paid. What about options? I use VWAP to trade options. Yeah, but generally it's the stock influencing the option. But you can trade options. Here, watch this. All I traded was the 615s today. So here's how you watch this. If you don't know, this trick is really cool. You can take the option trade itself. And this is why I trade at the money options, because they'll trade just like the stock. So I trade the 615s. And now it's just like it's a stock, right? So you got little faux shows right there. Fake them out, shake them out, fake them out, shake them out. I'm buying this break right here, 125, right here. And then my stops basically were the two low prints of the day. Hello. And again, my mistake was selling early because, I've been emotionally and financially beaten by shorting. I bought 125. I sold some at 143 and 150, 175. And again, the trade could have been over right here, but now I was strapped in. I wasn't going to sell them unless they broke back under that price. So I used break even and this candle here. And then they got to the orange line. I sold there. Greeks, irrelevant. Yeah, I was an option principal. I got my, what was it? The Series 24. I forgot what they even called it. Yeah, I studied for 3 months to take this test. All of it's irrelevant. Theta, beta, gamma, lambda, 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 and the omega moves. None of it matters. None of it matters because we're trading intraday. So all that stuff, you want to learn about the black shoals. That's how they price options. Implied volatility meets time, right? Black Scholes theory. You guys know about that? How to do math. None of it matters. None of it matters anymore. Because if you wanted to buy a put on the Qs today, what's the price? Well, that's the price you got to pay. It's not whether it's cheap or expensive, right? It's about what it is. So unless you're doing, condors and triple wing butterflies and collars and naked short strangles, I used to do all that stuff. But all that stuff is for longer term and swinging and hedging. It's irrelevant. Zero date options is the only way to trade on the Qs. Thank you. Zero date options are the only way to trade the Qs because now you can buy them for as cheap as possible. But most options are weekly. So I go at the money weekly option, like Tilray's. We had no choice but to buy, Wednesday we were trading the 850s for Friday because that was the only choice. But generally I don't go further out because I don't want to pay any more than I have to. I'm just a lowly day trader, right? But if the market crashes, my attitude will change a little bit because if the market crashes, then I morph more into swing trading because then the stocks are at the prices I want to buy them. I don't mind buying stocks. I don't mind swing trading when the market is conducive. I mean, we held Rigatoni, we held USAR, I held SRAD for quite some time. I held the Mob, I held the Newegg short, I held Oracle short. If the trade continues to pay you, you scale out of it and then you hold on to what you got left. Now I'm 100% in cash, except for you went to a livestock auction Livestock auction, man. You ever been to a live? No, I'm sorry. I didn't go to the real auction. I went to this thing where it was the auctioneer contest. So it was like a fake auction, and they would compete against each other. It was so much fun. Where the hell was that? It was the sickest thing. I think it was like, was that California? They were so good at it, it actually sounded like music. And they all had their filler. You know, put it up, put it up on, put it up. How about it? And they always, the filler was the fun part because they would keep that rhythm going. Oh, it was so cool. And they had some skills, those guys. Yes. But for us right now, it's all about being liquid and loving it. And again, that iRobot, nice reminder that this whole market's bullshit, right? I mean, it do you think it's a coincidence that it had its biggest squeeze in the last 5 years, 5 days before it goes out of business? You don't think that was a squeeze concocted? They did. I mean, seriously, that's this move right here. This iRobot move is why I don't own stocks, because I'm the lucky fucker. I'm the lucky schmuck that walks in with the stock down 90%. It's happened to me twice. I've been crushed on everything. Enron. I mean, I'm high-fiving people. I got 10,000 shares of Enron because they're getting bought out by Dynegy. I get back to my office, the stock's at 40 cents from 750. That was a fun day. Every possible awful thing has happened to me, and I've managed to make it through it. But no more. I'm not taking, first of all, if I do take an overnight, it's on the last lot of a profitable day trade. Right? Kind of like what Tilray was. iRobot announced they're going bankrupt. Yeah, finally. But if you don't think that squeeze was brought to you by the insiders who paid off some promoters and pump and dumpers to get this thing going on huge volume, and then 5 days later they announced bankruptcy, it's a scam. You've been flim-flammed. You've been robbed. And that's why I don't own stocks. I don't want to deal with that anymore because it always happens to me. Like leapfrog. You guys got kids? You got kids? You guys remember leapfrog? Remember? They had us buying like $80 toys for our kids. Used to buy like a $2 thing, and we're paying $80 for these products with books and interactive, all this learning stuff. Loving it, man. Loving me some leapfrog. Loving me some leapfrog. Warren Buffett tells me to buy what I know. Well, I know I'm being robbed by these products, but I'm buying them for my daughter, my son. They're loving leapfrog. I'm loving leapfrog. We got the frog, the interactive talking frog. We're buying these cartridges. I'm like, shit, I might as well buy stock in this company. I wake up one day, it's down 80% on some sort of accounting irregularity. Thanks. Where's leapfrog today? Gone. I'm done. Every Chinese stock I ever bought was a scam. Puda Coal, Smart Heat, Rhino. You guys remember these stocks? No, you don't. That's why I'll never own, especially Chinese stocks. And if you guys own Chinese stocks, sell them. Don't support their scam. Alibaba's a child pornography, money laundering communist company. Who wants to own this shit? You should boycott Chinese stocks. None of them should trade on our market. Our market's scammy enough without these Chinese scam bullshit stocks. And anytime you see a Chinese stock that's doing something, it's not even a real company. Like, you think Tiger is an actual brokerage in China? They say this is the Robin Hood of China. It's two Chinese kids cosplaying as Robin Hood sitting in a closet that went public. These are garbage. None of these stocks are legitimate. And what is legitimate? None of this. You take hope and faith away from the market, where does it go? Zero. Right? It's all based on hope, just like currency, right? It's on the, I think it's actually on the dollar, right? Does it say something about a full faith and hope and that the government will tell you it's worth something? What if they say it's worthless one day? Woo. Like cryptocurrency. I'm waiting for that morning when you wake up and it's all zeroed out. You know, I'd be willing to take, I don't know, what do I think I would lose about, I don't know, 25. I don't have much in crypto. Maybe 25. I throw 50 at, I probably have less than 25. Let me see what I got. Bitcoin 8,000 is about mostly Bitcoin. So anyway, moral of the story: if I woke up and every cryptocurrency was at zero, I'd be happy about that loss because that would make me just feel so good. I'd be losing money and I would still be happy about it. Wiping out the entire cryptocurrency industry would just thinking about it, I'm getting a little emotional right now. I think I need a moment. There's only two things that would make me happier: the Jets winning the Super Bowl. I can't even say that out loud without laughing. The Jets win the Super Bowl. It doesn't even compute anymore. What I'm really rooting for is that not only do I want cryptocurrency to all go to zero, but I would love to just see the Jets say, you know what? This 54-year experiment, we've lost. We're just going to shut it down. Just shut the franchise down. I would not miss the Jets. I'd be pissed because I never got the chance to taste glory, but that's why the SEC championship, Georgia Bulldogs, is all I got right now. And JMU. But somebody said, so what would you do if you woke up and Bitcoin was at $3? Well, first I'd laugh, and then I'd buy some at $3. So listen, this is like one of the best days ever. You know why? Because the one trade that I did worked, and I haven't done anything else. I know. Well, I do. What I really think could happen is they just wipe everybody else out. Everything else. Just Bitcoin's the only one left. And that would make it legitimate if there is a way to legitimize fake currency that does nothing. Right? If nothing else existed and there was only the one coin, I'd put some real money involved. I'd get some real money involved. But right now, do you know there's 5,000? They said some crazy number, 5,000 tokens or coins are issued every day. Wait for mine. I'm going to put one out next year. I don't got time to do it. I thought I would do it before Christmas. I don't got time for that shit right now. I'll get around to putting my own coin out. And it's going to be cool because it's actually going to have intrinsic value immediately on day one. You're going to be able to buy hats and shirts and maybe a membership to my website using the coin itself. I'll have incentives and break-evens, all kinds of stuff. All the shit that my lawyer was talking about. Yes. We're going to make it the most legitimate scam coin you could possibly want to own because that's all bullshit. You know it is. So we're just chopping around right now. What do you guys got in the mind? What do you got going on right now? Yeah, you know what? There is a Glick coin out there. There's a Glick coin. You believe that? There's every coin. How'd 6-7 coin do? Did that work out? How's fart coin working out for everybody? Still working? Like I wouldn't even know where to buy it. Like Fosho Bro coin. Yeah, I like that. But there's a scam coin, there's a fraud coin. I mean, everything you could think of, there's a coin for. Scam coin's my favorite. That's a good one. You're into the Tesla? I'm into the Tesla. By the way, kind of why I hope the market crashes, so I could buy it back at 255, where I made the dumbest decision I've ever made. I finally buy this thing back, and I promised I wasn't going to sell it. I sold it. I sold it. Like there's Tesla and Palantir, and then there's the rest of the market. Those are the only two stocks that I would own. So let's talk about 2026, right? Anybody really think Open's going to $80 in 2026, like these psychopaths are talking about? I've never seen a stock that they've tried this hard to pump. I mean, they're trying so hard, and it's been fun, and we've done very well, but I still think it's going to zero. And by the way, you guys into prognosticating for 2026? I'm going to go bear. I'm going to say down 12.5% for the year. Just so I could say that out loud. I'll say next year we're going to have a bear market. Down 12.5% for the year. Who cares if I'm right or wrong? That's the point. No matter. No, I love Open. Yeah. You know why? Because every time it goes down, it fights back. But you see that point where it fought back from that on that was earnings day right there. If it breaks the earnings low, and that's basically its lifetime VWAP, it's gone. She's gone. He's gone. What do you mean? He's gone. He's gone. Copper. I heard copper's been exploding every day, but how can you're going to still keep buying copper? I heard it's the sickest trade. Yeah, I know nothing about the copper trade. I heard it's done things that no one in their right mind would have ever thought could happen. Kind of like lumber. I remember we were just looking for shit to do during COVID. Remember lumber? I didn't trade it, but guys were buying lumber futures and just killing it. I didn't get into that. But I just think that, again, this whole time, I just thought we can get one more test of the 582. The NVIDIA rollover was pretty awesome. So there's the NVIDIA bearish engulfing candle. That was the Friday. It began a new rally. I think we're going to test it one more time. So here's the 6-month VWAP. 6-month VWAP is right at the bottom of the last attempt to sell off. There's the NVIDIA. There's the day after the NVIDIA. So that takes up everything. So 6 months of VWAP. I just think we're going to see that price one more time. If that breaks, and then we break the Friday after NVIDIA, then we're looking at the 9-month VWAP, and that's where everybody starts getting scared. But the 9-month VWAP is in between the last 3 sell-offs. So this is the sell-off, this sell-off right there. That's the Apple earnings sell-off reversal. And that is where I think we go, right? That's if. That's a big if. If we break under the NVIDIA Friday, we could cascade all the way down there. Oh, doggy coin? They should call that one delusional coin, right? I don't understand. I own it. And I've been in since 2017 with my friend Alexis, who convinced me to buy more, which was a great call. I didn't know that Elon was involved. This lovely lady on our lady. Hey, lady, this lovely lady. Hello. One of our members on our website. She know I'm a big Elon fan. Still am. I don't care that he's gone a little crazy. I love Elon Musk. But I didn't know he was involved. And when I heard that he was involved, I was like, shit, I'll buy more. But now, if you go to a message board, if you go on StockTwits or Twitter, Doggy Coin has basically sucked, right, for 5 years. Or 4 years. And it's gone nowhere. You had a little popping and dropping. But basically, if you've owned it for the last 4 years, you stink. It stinks. But if you read the message boards, everybody's killing it. It's up 3 million X according to the message boards. Everybody's rocking. It's garbage. And according to my crypto guy, my crypto guy says the worst of the worst is actually Ripple. This guy hates Ripple, and this is a guy I respect. This guy hates Ripple so much that he's mad that I own it. It's like, I don't know if we could be friends if you own Ripple. He's like, you don't even know. I'm like, I don't know. Tell me. He's like, no, that's the real scam. I'm like, oh, opposed to the other 90 billion things out there. This dude says the Ripple people are so insidiously corrupt and it's the worst of the worst. I don't know what the whole thesis is, but man, he hates him some Ripple. I was like, more than doggy coin? He's like, no, that one's dog shit also. But the reason he hates the Ripple is I can't even explain it. I forgot when he was talking blockchain. Once you start talking blockchain, it goes over my head. But the doggy coin, the reason on my other guy, he's like, it's the worst, one of the worst, because it replicates so quickly. They keep adding supply, and there's no way for the demand to outpace the supply. So how is it going to go up? Right. It's not. And here's another reason I hate the stock market. Let's keep that conversation going. Jemmy, right? We had some fun with it. Nobody was delusional enough to think it was becoming a real stock, right? We saw the volume. We were getting involved, and then suddenly, news. So we were in it before the news hit on their deal to do prediction markets. And then what's happened so far? After that pop, it sold off right to basically where we were buying it. And now it's below where we were in it. Because every stock is going to zero. And this is why I hate stocks. These Winklevoss freaks with all their Bitcoin billions, they come up with this index that we all got to be involved in. And look what this IPO has done so far. It's just annihilated. Garbage. Right? All of this stuff. It's just, wait. This was from last week. We were involved in this stock. Too late. But that's my attitude towards everything right now. Prove it. And that's my attitude towards myself. And that's why I've been doing what I've been doing these last couple of weeks. Come and see what we're doing. Don't take my word for it. If you guys were involved with us today, there's no denying what we did. Shorted the Qs, bought the puts, made some money. Now we're flat. And now we're just chilling. Speaking of Newegg, anybody keeping an eye on that? This one's going to be at zero also, right? That's why it's so amazing what happened to Carvana. I'm still shocked. When Carvana had the blow off top, it was one of my biggest short positions that I had on. And I had to eat the whole thing. I even said I would never, if this stock ever broke back over 250, I'm going to quit the business. That's how, it wasn't that I was so angry that the stock went up another 150 points after I sold it that my shorter came out and I was like, I'm going to kill this thing. And I was killing it. I had some puts. I was short the stock. This thing was about to go to zero. And then it ripped in my face and I had to eat it. The whole thing. I turned a nice profit into a loss. But you know what? I'd be broke now. I still want revenge. But you know what? The stock owns me now. So I don't even trade it. The stock's doing things I never thought it would do. I mean, I thought you'd get back to 180, which was impressive from $5. But I cannot believe this stock is levitating, getting close to $500. It's probably going to go to 1,000. Good riddance. I have now taken this stock off my watch lists, scanners. To me, it doesn't even exist anymore. The stock has owned me. And I admit it. The thing has done, I can't believe it. But I think that's why it's gone up so much. The shorter who doesn't live in the realm that I live in, or let's call them delusional, still think this thing's going to go to zero. Like, remember Hindenburg? right? I know, right? But do you know the Hindenburg guys, the Citron researchers, every shorter, notorious shorter, or whoever they are, has put out scathing reports about this company. Scam, worthless, and they've all been wrong. And they've done all their work. They have all their MBAs and all their figuring and trying to get this thing to break, and they've all been destroyed. Destroyed. That was usually me. Now I just admit I'm wrong very quickly. And if I have to readjust, I'll readjust. But when people say, oh, you sound kind of arrogant, no, I've been humbled way too much to be arrogant. I'm arrogant about this trade that works because it works awesome, but it ain't about me. I'm a delusional shorter, but I've been learning. I've been learning. You're going to learn tonight. That stock already crashed, but didn't it? Yeah. It's already down 100 points. Yeah, I think you're right. It probably will go back to 50. But a couple of these names, OKLO, SMR, Herbalife, yeah, another garbage. Yeah. But right now it's about Tilray. What are we doing here? Oh, man. Came back to the price I wanted, and I just sat there not doing anything about it. You know what? Let's join in. This one night might not be too late. Hang on a second. You know what? What time is it? I'm not doing it. I'm having too much fun today. I ain't trading. I'm good. But if I was watching Tilray, you see what it just did? Faux show, bro. It just did the faux show right there. I should be in at 11.11, selling it to you right here and raising my stop to 11.25. I ain't buying it. Rolls Royce, the real Rolls Royce or the fake Rolls Royce? RR? It's actually robotics. By the way, you know what stock finally gave it up? VWAP. I'm stalking this bad boy because I have never lost money trading this stock. Now that I said that, we're all doomed. I have never lost money trading this stock on the long side. Caught this wonderful move. We had those options that we tripled and quadrupled. Got long again, crushed it. Got long again, crushed it. I like that one. Yeah. Why? Yeah, that's that weed stock that came back. Yeah, why CBD? Yes. And there's also a reverse split in there too. Oh wow, this is actually hanging in there today. Actually, wait a second. Not as much volume as it was last time. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm just going to coast now. So what's up, TikTokers, YouTubers? You get what I'm laying down here, right? One and done, baby. One and done. You don't got to keep pushing. See, I was about to put a trade on. I was like, why? I ain't feeling it, right? I ain't feeling it. So, and when I look at that chart and I see I've missed 50 cents already on an $11 stock, percentage-wise, that's a lot. Plus, it's back to the orange line. I got to see what happens here. Pulls back a little bit, consolidates, and I get a chance at it, maybe. But I ain't chasing. But consolidation break, then pulls back, holds the consolidation, changes the game. We'll see. Oh, Ricey. Yeah, the real Rolls Royce, yeah. Speaking of Rolls Royces, who's watching Pluribus? I actually watched this woman sit there and do nothing for like 20 minutes. I'm like, this is riveting TV. That show went like this. I mean, that show started off like, holy shit, what's happening? Oh my God, this is crazy. To what the hell am I watching here? And if you don't get high when you watch it, it's really terrible. I mean, seriously. Day Trading Dino. She's married now. Hot Coco's married. She's got 2 kids. Day Trading Dina married a doctor, of course. That was her goal in life, to marry a doctor. That was her job. Her job was, I'm going to marry a doctor. And she did. I should give her a call. By the way, this Tilray might be still interesting here. A little consolidation. If you're in it, I wouldn't sell it. So let me go say hello to my TikTokers and all that stuff. Make sure I'm on. So anyway, listen, this is the thing. I'm being serious right now for 1 second, right? Oh, I'm serious about most of this stuff. Email me right now. Kenny Glick, AOL.com. Yeah, Pluribus. I mean, and if you go on the internet, there's 25,000 people analyzing it. I have to do my own analysis. My analysis, it's about AI. That's easy setup. It's AI, the hive mind. And they're not trying, they don't want to help Carol. They're forced to help her. They're not here to help. They're here to assimilate. They're like the Borg. So they're being nice because they know without her, she's ruining the whole Borg. But damn, I mean, you're actually sitting there watching nothing happen. Terrible. It started out so good. Concept's still cool. The only thing about that last episode, it was kind of Bill Murray-esque in Groundhog Day. You know, she's to the point where she's testing the boundaries. And what she was doing on that episode is exactly what I'd have been doing. I'd be out there howling with the freaking wolves, drinking beer, lighting off fireworks, just being a douchebag. That's basically what she is. She's a douche. She's an angry douche. I can relate. But that episode was basically what you would be doing. You're all by yourself. I'd be driving around. Oh man, I'd be hitting golf balls into glass buildings too. And you knew as soon as they mentioned the 3-inch spikes, you knew the guy was falling into one of those trees. I mean, you knew exactly what was going to happen. Yeah, it just went off. But you know what hasn't got bad, which gets even better, is Landman. Landman, Tulsa King. Tulsa King kind of got a little stupid, but he builds a gang of like wannabe potheads. Potheads. I mean, it's Tulsa King's kind of stupid, but it's fun, awesome. But Landman, damn, I was getting all choked up there and watching the sunset with his old man. Landman. What was the other one I watching? Oh, Mayor of Kingstown. I'm still not over that. Dang. Mayor of Kingstown. That was tough. So what are we going to do for the rest of the day? How about we just take some questions from the peanut gallery? Big size on the offer on Tilray, usually a buyer. Let's see what that guy went. Let me show you what that's all about. So I think I just drank an entire pot of coffee. And soon I'm just going to pass out. So let's get some questions in. Let me see if this is working. All right, this is on, this is on, this is not on. Let me see if this is on. Thanks. I know I'm looking pretty good right now. Appreciate that. Yeah. Feeling good. Looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. And if you don't know that movie clip, get out of here and go watch some movies, damn it. Feeling good, Billy Ray. All right, so big size on the offer, just initiated. Solid Jello's buying Tilray. Solid Jello's involved, so you're all safe now. So big size on the offer. What that means is on the market maker boxes, right? When I was a market maker, as corrupt and awful as the market makers are, because they have their orders and they're working their orders around trying to victimize other people, but that's part of market making. The one thing that was real about market makers is that when they go on the bid with a number, they meant it. So see these numbers. This is guy, he wants 900 shares at 11.44. This guy wants 1,000 shares at 11.43. Back in the day, you would see Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, Citibank. They would show their faces on the box, right? These are called ECNs. Now all the market makers hide their true nature or who they are. So what was cool was that we had called small order execution system was SOS. You had SelectNet and you had the market makers. So when a market maker went high bid, right? If you saw Goldman Sachs, so the stock's moving, Goldman Sachs goes high bid, you knew that Goldman Sachs was a real buyer because they didn't play games, because it was fresh, it was new, right? We finally had access to the level twos. We had access to seeing the order book and all that. Goldman Sachs go high bid, you had an idea. Goldman Sachs was looking to buy. Hey, so like a big bidder, this guy's looking for 110,000 shares, right? So if you saw Goldman Sachs show up looking to bid 100,000, you knew Goldman Sachs was coming to play. And you just buy the offer and Goldman Sachs would go high bid and you could sell it right to Goldman Sachs. That was kind of cool. Now in the world of spoofing and just blatant manipulation and rigging, the big bidder is now a seller quite often. But more importantly, when you have momentum and they put big offers out, what used to mean that there was overhead supply, now it doesn't mean that anymore. And it's just one of those other glitches, not really a glitch, but it's just they don't tell the truth as much as they used to just watching the box, or tape reading, as we used to call it. Tape reading kind of doesn't exist anymore because you don't know who's behind these buys. So even if you have block trades and dark pool scanners like we do, watching the box, you're still not getting that same feel. But what we've noticed is when you have momentum and they start throwing big offers out, usually a buyer. But right now, 12/17 on December 15th, market's kind of going sideways. There's no rhyme or reason about anything right now. We're just chopping around, going sideways, doing nothing. Otherwise known as squadouche. There's squadouche going on right now. Squadouche. Learn it. Learn it. Because there's a time to trade. A time to trade. A time to not. Right? There's a time to trade. And there's time not to. Right now, not the best trading going on right now. Not much happening. Squadouche. Plus, we got paid. Can't take the money from us. I don't want to get involved in a squadouche kind of market just because I'm sitting here. Right? You put trades on when you have an advantage. No advantage, no trade. And that part's hard to learn. That's why you're with me in Solid. That's why you're with me. I'm a professional non-trader. I love not trading. Because the bottom line, you want to make money, right? You want to take advantages of the market when it's time to take advantage of the market. Next big thing is, wait a second. What happened? I've frozen. Am I frozen? You're frozen. Oh, I'm frozen. There you go. So why did our pal Salagello buy some Tilray? Because at the moment it was breaking ranges, it was breaking prior day VWAP. They were flashing the big size, right? And if you just said, "Oh my God, it's going down," it went down 3 cents, right? So if you just bought this break, right, that was them trying to fake you out. So that's kind of a good that it came right back. Because let's say you bought that break, people will place stops at the break. That's why it broke right there, trying to get people out. But really, the real danger zone is the prior level from where it came. That's your danger zone. And then down right here. You can't be trading stocks with 2 cent risks, really. Squadouche. Yeah. And when there's squadouche going on, you generally lose money. And that's why, again, we've had some fun with Tilray over the last couple of days. I'm not getting involved this time. But if you just bought that dip, you got a little faux show action. Now you're just waiting to hopefully get that bro to 1163. And that would be awesome. So let me see something. Next big thing is crypto buying. Crypto buying at 74. 74 would be interesting, actually. Oh, Severance. Yeah, that one I tried 3 times. Yeah, I'm gonna try one more time because Walken's involved. So Chris Walken shows up, and I'm thinking the show is saved. Meanwhile, it wasn't. And if you bought some Tilray with solid, look at that little pullback held, right? And that's why you don't sell. Some traders probably just got out of their whole thing. Oh no, it's going down. Relax. You couldn't risk 3 cents. But yeah, that Severance, I tried. I'm gonna try one more time. I made it to the third. I made it to the third episode. Walken got there. They went to the woman's house, who is the CEO. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. Credo. I'm over Credo. Kind of banned that stock too. It makes me sick where I sold that one too. NVTS is my new Credo. Cheaper, more potential, takeover candidate, NVTS. I'd rather be looking for this thing to pop again than, yeah. I'm just, again, it's a personal thing. And again, I did very well that day. We crushed it on the short. And yeah, it's been in a downtrend ever since the earnings. Kind of like this, the Oracle trade, blow off top on earnings, rolls over, gets hammered. You should expect it to go test those recent lows. But 99, that last sell-off back in the August, that is your 1-year VWAP. And if I'm right about the market getting wiped out, you'd be looking at Credo at 99 easy. I'd buy it there. Hey, you see the big size on the offer? So now what you wait for is, I got this tool, the big block scanner. It's also scanning the dark pools, right? So bang, you can't have that one. That costs money. So what that's doing, it's looking for the big blocks. So if I see a guy on the offer and then I see big blocks going off in the dark pools away from the tape, I get a little bit more enthusiastic about buying it. But right now, I'm not enthusiastic about doing anything. That's why we're chilling talking about Severance and TV. Anything else other than putting trades on when there's no trades to be put on. Guy in the back, you pissed off? This guy, right? Yeah. He shows up in the middle of the day. You're showing up at 11:45 looking for stock picks. That's not how it works, guy in the back. You should have been with us at 8 o'clock in the morning. I would have told you that we were short in the queue. Well, I don't care that you have a real job. Quit your job. Now, don't quit your job. I'm only kidding, guy in the back. But yeah, you don't want to put trades on because you're feeling anxious, that you're feeling left out, whatever that emotion is that's making you feel that you need to put a trade on, get rid of it. You put trades on when you have an advantage, and that's VWAP breaking on stocks that are in the news or Qs rolling over or maybe some GameStop. Because there's something going on with GameStop today, right? Bucking the trend of the overall market. You had a little pop and dropping last week. A couple of faux show bros, test them on top. Interesting little setup there. Not much going on the long side here. You got Olma today, which could be a short momentarily, actually. Let's see if you can short some Olma. And this is what you do. Just go back to some of the names you like trading. Yeah, Olma is shortable today. So you see how it's got almost like a triple bottom at VWAP. There you go. Now you got an idea there. You throw it on the corner of your screen. You keep an eye on it. And you got some weird ones like RadX from earlier. Chopping around. AMCI still in play. Big volume. Another one. You got your head and shoulder. You got your retrace to the VWAP. If you roll here, break VWAP, that's a short. Yeah, so, and again, I make it entertaining and fun, but a lot of trading is so damn boring. And it's a lot of just sitting around waiting, talking about TV shows and listening to music. And that's it. I mean, that's the reality of trading. Right? The illusion of trading is yelling and screaming and making money, trading from 9:30 in the morning or 8:30 and 8 in the morning till 8 p.m. at night. It's not how it is. It's a lot of nothing. Hello? We could talk about sports gambling. Unbelievable, right? You know, that's how burnt I am. I hate the Jets so much now that I used to bet against them every game. Didn't matter. Bet against the Jets. And I win because they suck. About 6 weeks ago, I forgot what day, I got to the point where I can't even watch it. Like, you know they're going to lose. I probably should keep betting against them, but I stopped doing it. They have taken the joy of sports away. Like, I can't watch them anymore. Right? So I don't even watch the NFL. My son's a Ravens fan because he couldn't take the pain of being a Jets fan. The Ravens are a different kind of suck. They suck too. Lamar's a loser. You know, they make you believe that they're going to be good, and they still wind up breaking your heart. They stink. You know they're going to lose the last game of the season to blow the playoffs. They're going to lose to the 300-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Well, I'm taking JMU plus 22.5 just for fun. But I'm going to wait. If Oregon goes up by 2 touchdowns, they might put the bet in. Then I love live betting. Live betting's the greatest. There you go. There's the Tilray block. There you go. 31,000, 24,000. Somebody just bought 31,000, 30, 20, 38, 21,000. There it goes. Monster volume going on ABEV. Let's see what ABVE is. A sounds like a weed beverage company, right? ABVE. Who's trading this garbage? Just monster size just went through. I mean, there's nothing going on right now. Somebody just bought 400 January's $55 puts on SLV. It's a big bet. I think JMU shows up. I think they're too good of a team to get blown out. Ho, we got a trade here. Hold on a second. Myrna just went green, still under prior day VWAP. Wait a second. That's interesting. Yeah, I think you know what? If, like I said, if JMU, if Oregon scores quickly, it's 14-0, and then you could get JMU plus like 40. Probably do that. And if you bought Tilray on that little Dipskaruski, you're now you're getting, it's working its way up. It's just, it's there's nothing going on right now. You're trying to scrape nickels together, sure. But right now, you're risking 30 cents to make a nickel. You want it to be the other way around. 14,000 shares of Tilray. That's at 11.50. Yeah, it is not. It's best to stay out of it. But the reason Mern is interesting to me is that you got two faux show bros, blue line. You're breaking new highs. You're breaking the range from the pre-market, and you're probably going to prior day VWAP. But what are we talking about here? There's nothing going on. Anybody think the market's going to be down next year? Let's have that conversation. Let's talk about it for real, right? It's probably not going to be down, right? Everything's pointing to market go up only, right? We know it. I know it. You know it. But I think we're due. I think we're due for like a squad douchey kind of year, right? Trading's going to be good. But I think the market, we might be trapped in this right here. Big trading range. But at the end of the year, we might be down slightly. Nobody knows, right? But every prognosticator, right, says the same thing. It'll probably be up about 6 to 8%, or 8 to 12%, 12.5%, 20%. Nobody ever says anything about going down, ever. Like, I never hear anybody saying, oh, definitely going down this year. Not one person. Obviously, Tom Lee, standard, right? What's Tom Lee have to say? 25%, right, every year. What's Fundstrat? What's Mark Newton have to say? You guys know Mark Newton? We'll have him on the show. Ow! My leg! Road underdog gets up big in first quarter. Hammer the home favorite. I like you. More importantly, in college basketball, road dog comes in, starts lighting it up against the favorite. You take the favorite big in the second half. Speaking of that, you want up rate cuts, QE, deregulation, tax cuts, and melt up? Yeah, you're probably right. I'm gonna call for an 8% down year. We'll see. The first 2 weeks usually makes the whole year. But you know what else I'm interested in is Georgia basketball. You guys watch college basketball? Love college basketball. I'm gonna watch pros. College basketball is they still play basketball like the old ways, like setting up plays. And I mean, some teams are still about threes, but Georgia's basketball team are a bunch of monsters. And they got Dominique Wilkins kid coming off the bench. That kid's got Kobe Bryant face. You know, you could see some kids when they're playing, they're nervous. Dominique Wilkins kid has the look of a killer on his face. He's got the Dwayne Wade face. Dwayne Wade in the playoffs that year, nobody was beating Dwayne Wade. Kobe Bryant face. It's kind of like that nobody's better than me, arrogant look on his face that he's going to kill you. You know the look. That kid's got that look. And he's our sixth man. Georgia basketball, very underrated. They were down by 11 to Cincinnati. You push, you get into Georgia. They wound up winning by 20. I don't think there are going to be as many rate cuts as everybody thinks. I think they should be raising interest rates. That's just me. According to what I've learned is that we're supposed to raise interest rates when the economy is booming. And according to Trump, everything is kicking ass. Free drugs, free gas, everything's cheap, and everything's awesome. So we should be raising interest rates. I don't know why we're not. Like, there was zero reason to cut interest rates. Zero. We should at least let it coast. You don't got to cut them. You don't got to raise them. Let them sit here for a year or two. See how it all pans out. And then raise them. We should be at 5% across the board. Because everything I learned was debunked 3 or 4 years ago, right? Remember when we were all going to get killed by the wheat? We were running out of wheat. We were running out of diesel. Right? We were running out of wheat. We were running out of diesel. There was a recession coming. And then we were told that if they raise interest rates too quickly, the entire market was going to crash. How'd that work out? Didn't run out of diesel. There was plenty of wheat. We raised interest rates at the quickest rate in the history of ever. And the market went up every freaking day. So what does that prove? Nobody knows what they're talking about. That's what it proves. You want to debate? We just witnessed it, right? Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything. But right now, the only reality you have is going to the store and are you paying more for stuff than you were last year? The answer is yes. And that's reality. I'm paying more than I drink a lot of coffee. If you haven't noticed, I drink a lot of coffee. Coffee prices are up. I don't drink a lot of soda, but when I was buying a when I have people over, I get the 3-pack, the 3 12-packs. Used to get 3 12-packs for $10. Now it's 2 for 15. That's a lot. That's higher. Everything that I buy is more expensive than it was last year. Everything. So whether you want to live in the world of reality or you want to be delusional, right? And according to my real estate people, it's going to get a whole shit ton worse. And the real estate industry is going to crash the market. But you know what? They've been saying that for 5 years. But now they're saying how this is the year where the shit's going to hit the fan. Because landlords are going to start walking away because all the regulations are based on crushing the landlords. They can't refinance because the rates are too high. And they can't raise the rates because it's illegal. So these buildings are just going to burn. It's going to be like the 1970s in New York, according to these guys. And this is one guy, he's had a very substantial portfolio, $500 million. And he's hemorrhaging cash. He's on the verge of having to declare bankruptcy. And he's not the only one. There's a lot of that going on. We'll see how it all pans out. But that's why I live in the moment, trying to make money. Well, we're in a boom right now, depending on where you live. Anybody trying to sell their home? No one's having a problem selling. My friend thought he would have a problem. He had a bidding war on his house. He got $200,000 more than he thought he was going to get. So, pretty awesome. It's Myrna. Hotta, hotta. The one trade. There it is. Myrna. Hotta, hotta. I'm hungry. You guys want to hang? I'll put some music on. I could go eat something, come back. I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere to be until Saturday. Was it Ja Rule or Nelly? Who did that song? Dun 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 dun. Hotta, hotta. It's murder. Those two guys exactly. Was it? There was two of those guys, right? Ja Rule and who was the other guy? Nelly. Same guy, right? Hey, you see how it hit the orange line? There it is. Hotta, hotta. Boom, 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 boom. But what was that song's name? It's not It's Murder. Hotta, hotta. I don't know my hip hop titles. Oh, wait, I can't play music. We get kicked off the internet now. We can only sing. Who's the one who did something? Sun and the beans in the bob of the boo, smoking an L in the back of the Benzie, and I just feel this way. Hey, must be the money. Who did that song? Nelly. Ah, right. There you go. So what's the other guy's name? There's Ja Rule. There's Nelly. Is there three of those guys that look? Ja Rule, Nelly. I can't tell the difference. Now DMX, I can tell the difference. Boom, boom. Sadly, that song reminds me of 9/11. I was actually in the back of my friend's Benz smoking a joint, and then 9/11 happened the next day. As a matter of fact, it's weird what things remind you of. That song reminds me of my friend who his girl, yeah, she perished. It's pretty fucking awful. That song's been forever ruined. Anybody in the Myrna? At least you got something going on. Hey, the Qs might go green here. Maybe we do something. I don't know. If we're gonna do something, I better strap in. Holy crap! It's 12:42. You sat here this whole time not putting any trades on. If anybody's in the Myrna, boom, boom, boom. Not gas, huh? What are you trading with the not gas? What was the not gas? I used to trade it. I used to trade a stock that went with the not gas. Chesapeake. Damn, I haven't thought of that guy in a while. Is Chesapeake still out there? CHK? Oh my God, they don't even exist anymore. How about BTU? And BTU's been out there. What happened to Chesapeake? Remember Chesapeake, right? That was the nat gas play stock, right? It was bought out. Oh. Mm. All right, I'm going to shut the microphone off. But if you guys want to hang, I got nowhere to go. I don't know if there's going to be much else going on today. You know, let's see if the market's trying to fight back, but it's still in this bottom range. Here's another one you guys were talking about earlier. Wolf about to do kind of what Myrna just did. All right, I'll be right back. Speaking of Ja Rule, check. Speaking of Ja Rule or whatever that song was, you know what I'm eating right now? Holla, holla. Get it? Get it? I'm eating holla, holla, holla. No, nothing. I'll be here all week. You guys want to talk about something else? I don't know. You want me to analyze your stocks going forward, as they say in the industry? Going forward. What does that even mean? Going forward, no. I think we stopped saying that, right? You know what we stopped saying also? That being said. Remember when that was the catchphrase of the year? That being said, you don't have to say that. You just said it. That being said, you just said it. You redundant, monotonous moron. That being said, every year we come up with a phrase. You know what the phrase of the year this year was? 6-7. You believe that? Where have we gone? Where's society gone? By the way, some kids like, you're not allowed to say that. You're old. I was like, but I know what it means more than you do. Because it means nothing and it's funny. I do. I believe in Santa Jaws. Have you seen that? Oh, I can't wait. Santa Jaws. It was Sharknado meets the worst thing you'll ever see. Santa Jaws. Oh my God, so bad. But so good. He had a horn and the shark would actually ram you or something. I forgot what it was. We watched all 9 Sharknadoes. I think it was New Year's Day. We were all just hungover watching the worst TV ever. Yeah, there he is. Santa Jaws. Yeah. So Santa Jaws had this like big thing and it would ram you. Santa Jaws. Bring back they're done with the Sharknadoes now. January rate cuts are very low. Definitely not happening. Yes. Raising interest rates. It's the only way. Oh, I ate a lot of steak. I went to the Palm. Very nice restaurant. Never been there. I thought I was there. It turns out I was thinking Keen's. Keen's Steakhouse. If you guys know about steakhouses in the city, I went to the Palm. Good stuff. Very great service. Like as you were done ordering, the food was there 2 minutes later. It was incredible. Had some beef carpaccio, some oysters, nice filet mignon. Yesterday I went out again. Skirt steak, the forgotten steak. Remember when skirt steak used to be the reject steak? Like if you couldn't afford real steak, you get skirt steak. Now skirt steak is some sort of delicacy. Used to cost $5.99 a pound for skirt steak. It's $24.99 a pound now. Crazy. Yes, let's talk about our favorite Christmas movie. Let's debate. Do you think Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not? I say yes. National Lampoon's Christmas. I'm trying to think. Was that the first? No. They went to go visit what's his name again in the trailer park, right? I was just watching. Which is the one? Oh wait a minute. Which is Aka? Oh no, Mr. Papa Giorgio. Of course, Mr. Papa Giorgio. Papa Giorgio. He gets the fake ID. That's Vegas Vacation, right? I won the money. When they, at the end with the lottery ticket or the Keno. Xmas Story, great. You shoot your eye out, kid, right? That Xmas Story? Or is that right? Yeah, you shoot your eye out. My wife and kids, they can't sit through that movie. I'm like, come on. It's a classic. Wally World was one, right? We'll be whistling Dixie out of our assholes. We'll be having so much fun. Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. Ah, can of Simonize. It's a prestigious award. Ah, can of Simonize. It's a prestigious award. Says it right here on the box. Fragile. Must be Italian. Polar Express, I've never actually seen that movie. That's like that cartoonish kind of one, right? Well, my wife loves It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, that movie I can't sit through. Yeah, I've seen it once, but Bad Santa's great. You know it's a great movie. Like, I forgot what it was, but the guy from Stranger Things, the cop, he's like a mercenary Santa guy. I don't know. They come to his house. And he's got to fight off these bad guys. It wasn't Bad Santa. It was something Santa, but that was Scrooge with Bill Murray. Now you're talking. For the love of God, would you please stop the goddamn hammering? That's the best line of the whole movie. That movie's underrated. Scrooge with Bill Murray, phenomenal. Yes. So good. Elf classic. What'd you guys do? You bought the puts again on the cues? Nice. Ernest Saves Christmas. Oh my God. I don't even remember that one. Remember when he was like he was everywhere. That dude. Oh my God. The Nightmare Before Christmas. You know what? That was a weird. I never got into that one. Yeah. I can't think right now. I can't think if there was a classic Christmas movies I used to like. Charlie Brown Christmas. That's still a thing. Do 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 do. All right. Heat Miser and the baby New Year guy. Yeah. Oh, I used to love that stuff. He's Mr. Heat Miser. He's Mr. Sun. Da-da. He's Mr. Something Christmas. He's number 101. They call him Heat Miser. Whatever he touches burns up in his clutch. He's too much. Do-do-do-do. He'd wait around all year for those. With Burt, was it Burl Ives, right? Was it singing that song? Jingle All the Way. That's where he had to get that toy, right? Yeah, that was funny. Christmas Story. Yeah, we all love Christmas Story. Shoot your eye out, kid. Actually, my favorite Christmas. I mean, I'm old, so there was this Laurel and Hardy movie called March of the Wooden Soldiers that my father and I would watch them every year. You watch it now, yeah, you know, it's 100 years old. But if you know it, The boogeymen come. They're trying to wipe out Storyland. Still love it. Still watch it every year. Yeah, Elf, I'm over. Yeah, it's funny, but yeah, Fat Finger Freddy coming into play a couple times today on the cues. All right, 1 o'clock. You guys need to go do something else. What are you guys gonna do? You guys let's Solid on, right? Solid on. How's that stock doing, right? STI? Is that still a thing? Wait a second. The stock's still $7. Wasn't this a penny stock? Oh, right. Yeah, no, it's dumped. That's the one. Violent Night. That was a good movie. That was fun, man. See, if I could play music, I'd put on some Christmas music because I love Christmas music. If you guys ever had a retail job, I was the lunatic that liked, they'd have this. If you worked in a mall long enough, it was just a loop. It was the same 25 songs. They would play them all day, all day. And I loved every single one of them, especially the waitresses. Bow, 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 bow. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Bow, 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 bow. Hey, look, it's Viking in the 70s. Remember that stock? Another IPO I never should have sold. One of the best IPOs of last year. No one even talks about it. All-time highs. Viking Cruise Line. One of the best IPOs that not anybody mentions. IPO was bought right out of the gate and established itself. And then you had the Trump candle bullshit, and then right back into ripping. I assume this thing's going to be 120 inevitably. Great trade. Favorite Christmas song? I don't know. I'm an Andy Williams kind of guy. I'm old school. I love I like anything you give me. That's what I love about Christmas. You could take any artist, and they always had a Christmas album. Bing Crosby, Sinatra, Dean Martin, and of course Elvis, and now Michael Bublé. If you don't like some Michael Bublé Christmas, come on, people. It's okay to like Michael Bublé. Hey, this Myrna trade actually worked. Hey, I mean, seriously, there's nothing going on. This is less than nothing right now, but yeah, maybe you got something out of that. Peace on earth, how can it be? Come, they told me, bum, the newborn king to see, bum. And here comes David Bowie out of nowhere. That's one of the best songs. Ever hear Bing Crosby and David Bowie doing Little Drummer Boy? So good. Peace on earth, what can it be? I forgot where that was from. I think it was like a Christmas special that where they did it and you get invited on. Well, I don't know, man. I think we're going to be sitting around doing nothing all day for the rest of the day. We only got 3 more hours of this, so I haven't done anything since that first trade. Yes. You sent an email? All right, I'll send them out right now. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to go send some emails. We'll gather up some troops, and maybe there'll be something to do later. But maybe if we're lucky, Solid will come on, give us some new levels to be looking at. And yeah, if you want to join, remember, come for the schmooze, stay for the next couple of days. And stay forever. All right, cheers. If I don't see you, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that great stuff. But I'm sure I'll see you tomorrow. And if you haven't sent me an email yet, get on the email list in case I just decide to wake up in the middle of the night and do a future session like yesterday. And it was only a couple of minutes. Didn't really take too long. But best way to stay in contact with me, Kenny Glick, AOL.com. Kenny Glick, AOL.com. And let's keep on keeping on. All right? Sarai, I'm out of here.